You're so weird. Hello healthy heroes, and welcome to the Health Health Show, where we help your body play at 100%. Today's topic is something that is affecting you directly, and that is
Sciatica.
right, sciatica. We've all heard the word before. We know a lifetime incidence rate of around 13 to 40%, which is really high if you consider in the entire population. Quite a few people will get sciatica in their lives. So, Jack,
Yes.
welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. And can you just tell us, what are you feeling? Because you have sciatica right now.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on. First of all, tell us how it started, and then tell us, what does it feel like?
Okay, so back in March I had an accident and I fell over and I really hurt my lower back. I came into house to get that seen to, and I was supported through that process, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. And I don't know really what's happened to make the sort of effects of it come back, but what I've been told is I've got a disc bulge in the lower part of my spine, which is putting pressure on the nerve that's channeling down my leg. So when I'm walking, I feel like this really tight sort of pinching pain going down my leg. I can feel it now whilst I'm sat down, but it's a bit less intense when I'm sitting. But the main pain that I get is when I'm lying down in bed. Regardless of what position I'm lying in, it's very, very intense, the pain. So that's basically what I'm feeling at the moment. And yeah, I'm in a lot of pain.
Yes, I know, and that's
not
great.
great.
It's not fun, right? So
No.
it affects the way that you walk, you can't sleep, and that puts you into that horrible cycle of less sleep, more pain, less sleep, more pain, and it just gets worse and
Yeah,
worse, right?
it's quite easy enough to get off to sleep, but once I've been lying in that position for a long time, the pain starts to intensify, and then it's waking me up, so that I'm sort of waking up in the middle of the night and then not being able to get back to sleep because of how much the pain is.
Yeah.
Is there.
Sciatica it's a debilitating thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I just want to explain is, what is sciatica, right? Because you've described what it feels like. It's that pain going down your leg.
Yeah.
Some people feel the pain in their buttock only. Some people get it down towards their knee. Some people get it all the way shooting into their big toe.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're feeling?
Yeah, so I think it's all dependent on how I'm positioned, where I feel the pain. Like at the moment now, I can just sort of feel it ever so slightly in my calf area here. But when I'm lying down, it's the whole way down my leg. Sometimes I get pins and needles in my feet as well. So it's everywhere really.
Okay, so let's first talk about the sciatic nerve, which is the cause of sciatica, which is where it gets its name from, right? It's a particular nerve in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So the sciatic nerve comes from these two lower segments of your lumbar spine, so L4 and L5. See the yellow bits here? Those are the nerve roots. They combine with the nerve roots of S1, S2, S3. So they combine together, and then they move down your leg. So first it moves as one thick nerve, it's about the thickness of your thumb. It moves down to your knee, where it splits in two, and that's where it supplies all the way down to your big toe and through your calf muscle as well. So we know that there's lots of different causes of sciatica. Sciatica really, the name sciatica just tells us that something is going on. It just says that you've got pain, right? But it doesn't tell us why you have pain. We just know that you have a particular pattern of pain.
Yeah.
So the reason for it can be a number of them. You've said a bulging disc, right? And that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So if we turn this around, the discs are the spaces between the bones. So here's an example of a bulge. So where this red bump is, that's a disc bulge. That will then push on the nerve, which sits directly behind it. Now, because there's something pushing on the nerve, your body experiences that as pain. So that can be one of the causes of sciatica. Other reasons can be, sometimes there can be a minor fracture or a displacement of one of these bones. We call that a spondylolisthesis. Either moves back or forward. That then pushes onto the nerves. Sometimes it's because of a muscle that sits here. It tightens. It's called piriformis syndrome. That's where the sciatic nerve, which passes behind it, then gets compressed. The causes of sciatica can be varied and multiple. Sometimes it's a combination of things. We don't always know exactly why until we've done a full investigation.
Yeah.
That's where you may need x-rays, sometimes you don't. Sometimes people go for MRIs or CT scans to work out exactly why it's there, because that determines our approach of care. So can you tell us what your care has been? How have you been managed with this? What's happened?
So far I've been going into the clinics in Windsor, and I've been seeing a couple practitioners who've been helping me. they were adjusting me to a point, and then I got re-X-rayed to have a closer look at what was going on, and now they're able to be a bit more specific with how they're adjusting me.
Yep.
I've been given some stretches and things to do at home to try and get my body naturally moving away from how it's trying to position itself now.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I learned was that when your body is damaged, obviously you start to self-heal, but especially when you're affected like this, it's starting to like get used to what the new position is and try and like reform around that. And obviously that's a big part of what you guys do, is to actually get away from that.
That's it. So that's called a maladaptation because of the pain.
Yeah.
So with you, I know that when you're walking, you're leaning over towards one side. That's your body trying to move away from the pain or move over the pain.
Yeah.
What we don't want is you to get stuck in that position, because your body's adapting around the pain, but we don't want you living in that position. We want your body to get back to its neutral position, which is the safest for you. Especially if we're looking long term, we want you to be in a healthy place, right?
That's the great thing about Quinton Hohls as well, is like, rather than just them helping me get through the pain, they're actually educating me enough so I can know what's good to do myself as well. Like, it's making me naturally want to have a limp, because I don't want to put too much pressure on it, but I know that like I shouldn't rely on that, because I know that I'm going to start to get used to that, my body's going to start to get used to that. So I'm trying to force myself to walk properly and force myself through the things, even though they're painful, because I know that my body needs to continue to be used to what it's normally used to doing.
Yeah. So with sciatica, there used to be this idea that when you have sciatica, you should just lie down, and take bed rest. It's now the opposite that we suggest, right?
Yeah.
It's about movement. When you get sciatica, it is important to keep moving. The worst things that you can do are lie flat or sit for a very long time, because that puts pressure into that area.
Yeah.
So we want to keep you moving. Movement is important for sciatica. The other thing is, people used to take paracetamol. Paracetamol really has no effect on it. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, so I took some paracetamol at the beginning. Nothing was happening. I've been taking some ibuprofen now, just because the pain is so intense, especially when I'm going to bed, and it's hard to not want to take it to try and get through the night, because it is really it's very depressing to get into bed and feel like, oh, actually it might be okay tonight, and then you wake up at 3-4 in the morning and you can't go out to sleep because the pain's so bad, and then that's making you feel down because you can't sleep. I'm so tired, I'm trying to muscle through the day, but it's genuinely really debilitating.
This is the thing, is that we've got to get you functioning healthier in a much better way than what you are. So my other thing is, have you experienced a quick fix? Has that been a very quick fix for you, coming for care? Has it disappeared overnight?
No, it's almost got worse, but I know that sometimes things do have to get worse to get better. Just because my body's got so used to being like it is, it's now saying, well, surely I should be like this now. But you guys are trying to get my body to go, no, you need to get back to normal. So yeah, I've definitely noticed a lot. I have definitely noticed some ease when I'm walking.
Yes.
But the pain is still the same feeling.
Yes. Okay, that does happen with sciatica. Sometimes it's a bit of an up and down curve, right? Sometimes you feel better, then you feel a little bit worse, and you feel better. What's important is that you keep moving and that you keep getting the care that you need.
Yeah.
So when we work very safely with sciatica. Depending on what the cause of your sciatica is, we always try and be as safe around the area as possible. We don't want to go in and inflame the area. So normally what we do is we work above and below the area first, and then we focus in on the area. So when somebody comes in, we don't initially just go directly to the source, because that will make you feel worse. So we work above and below, and then we start releasing in this area here. So we try and decompress all the pressure on those nerves.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of things that you can do at home to help you. Again, like we said, keep moving. Try and resume those normal activities. There's some things that you shouldn't do, don't go for a 12-kilometer run. It's going to put you back in pain.
Yeah.
So, but just keep moving.
I think potentially that's something that actually aggravated it, because I changed my routine a bit. I started to go for runs outside. I was going on a rougher terrain, through woods and stuff, and I don't think I probably had the best footwear. So doing this sort of change in my lifestyle, doing 5k runs, suddenly this pain started to re-emerge.
Yeah.
So I definitely think I could have taken things a bit slower.
I would say so. Yes. So that's part of the advice is just keep moving. If you want to do exercise, do very gentle exercise, just be very careful.
Yeah.
Swimming is very good because you're in a non-gravity environment, and doing something like yoga or Pilates with a very well-educated instructor, they will know how to take care of you and fit your healing.
Yeah.
The other thing is you can do simple back stretches. You can use heat packs or cold packs in the area. I like to if I have clients, I like to alternate it between hot and cold. Sometimes with heat, it can just make it feel a bit worse because it congests the area.
I was told that it was a good thing to do was to put some heat on my leg and then the ice actually on my lower back.
Exactly.
To have a mixture of the two and at the same time.
It makes a huge difference. Heat can sometimes just congest the area too much.
Yeah.
So again, don't lie down for too long. Just make sure you keep moving. Don't really need to take painkillers because there's been these studies that have been looked at sciatica, and people who take painkillers, really there isn't that much relief from it. Also, long-term studies have shown that even if you go for surgery at the beginning with sciatica, the outcomes will be the same even if you didn't go for surgery. So conservative care and surgery have shown almost exactly the same results. There's really not that much difference. So for us, always go conservative first. We don't want to go into your body and create damage or scar tissue where we know that we can manage it in a conservative way. So that's why we say try conservative first. Just keep yourself moving, see a chiropractor, see a physiotherapist, just stay healthy. We know that the outcomes are going to be good in the end. And chiropractic has been shown over and over again to be very, very effective with sciatica, so we know that we can help. I'm glad you're getting seen too.
Yeah, just going back to what you're saying about sleeping, I've been trying sleeping on my side, but with like a pillow between my legs.
Yes.
It's not been working too well, and I've also tried sleeping on a pillow so that my body's kind of, I'm on my side, but I'm bent a little bit to try and relieve pressure, but neither of those seem to be that comfortable. It always seems to sort of creep back. Is there anything else I can try and get more comfortable in bed?
What we're trying to do is take pressure off that area when you're sleeping. So that's why the pillows between your knees, they stop you from rotating your hip too much when you're sleeping. One thing you can do is if you're lying on your back, put a very small pillow underneath your knees. So when you're lying on your back, a little support here, what it does is it bends your knee and it just takes tension out of that nervous area. So that can help a lot.
Okay.
Otherwise, don't lie on your stomach. And if you're going to lie on your side, instead, also with having a pillow between your knees, put a pillow in front of your chest. That stops your upper body from rotating. So you basically lock yourself into a nice neutral position without any rotation.
Would you say like one's good or maybe two?
Just one is fine because you don't want to overdo it because then you're opening up your pelvis too much.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, just drink a lot of water as well because your body will need that support. So if you would like more information, we do have a talk going on in our Surbiton clinic on the 5th of December, specifically looking at sciatica. That will be given by Dr. Connor. He's incredible. If you have the time, go and see it. 5th of December at 7 p.m. in our Surbiton clinic. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned a lot, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye.